how's Justin feeling
from
right
ET,
now?
what do you hope to accomplish this year?
You know what? He's feeling like you would feel. If you were wrongfully accused of something, you'd feel pretty devastated. And he's looking for justice. And he's a great man and an honest, really caring person. Thanks for your time.
Justin says that Blake was determined to make him the real-life villain in her story because she wasn't doing well on the promo tour for the movie. It was very tone-deaf. Her hair care line wasn't doing well. She was trying to sell booze while talking about domestic violence. Justin says the war between himself and Blake really started in May 2023 when they started shooting the movie. He claims that she was organizing a takeover strategy.
He and 9 other plaintiffs, including his publicists, have brought a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times, essentially alleging them of libel and false light invasion of privacy. So Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, he told BBC's partner CBS that the newspaper aided and abetted a smear campaign designed to revitalise Lively's floundering image.
Asking for the gag order and explaining how he's talking too much. He's threatening to post stuff on public sites. So what I think is this looks good for Baldoni, right? He's like, we want to make it all public. And sometimes lawyers can do this knowing that they can't actually do what they say they're going to do.
To all of the women out there that are watching, no matter what you do in life, you never, ever, ever go full Amber Heard.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got 2 nice ones.
And they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you like the movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I love most of his movies, and this one was so visually amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
The internet started pulling out these clips, and suddenly there were these headlines, and people were just very upset with Blake Lively and started stringing together her pattern, okay?
Blake Lively is slamming The Hollywood Reporter's recent magazine cover. The cover features the actress launching a slingshot at Justin Baldoni amid their ongoing legal battle. The edition shows an image of Blake alongside a story in which the outlet investigated, attempting to tie Justin's Baha'i faith to his situation with the It Ends With Us actress. A spokesperson for Blake slammed the magazine, telling E! News in a statement, quote, "The Hollywood Reporter should be ashamed of itself. The framing in this picture is outrageously insulting as it plays into every sexist trope about women who dare to file a workplace complaint."
He told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully. That Justin Baldoni, ultimately, by the time they got to the premiere, was mandated by Blake Lively to spend the night in the basement away from his co-stars and didn't even get to see the final cut of his own movie because Blake Lively insisted that she be the one to approve it.
Now, remember, it all began in late December when Lively filed a civil rights complaint alleging Baldoni created a hostile work environment on the set and then waged a smear campaign to ruin her reputation. Baldoni, who has denied those claims, has filed a $400 million lawsuit against Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, for defamation. Since then, things have only escalated. Just this weekend, Baldoni's team publishing a website with hundreds of emails and texts between Lively, Baldoni, and Reynolds. And today, Lively's legal team saying that she is devastated.
Picture this. You're scrolling through social media and suddenly you see the headline, Blake Lively offers Justin Baldoni $10 million to drop lawsuit. If that doesn't grab your attention, nothing else will. This story has it all. Allegations of on-set drama, claims of intimidation, hush money rumors, and even a wild theory that the real motive might be snatching the rights to a best-selling novel. What is going on with Blake, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni? Buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into a saga that's shaking up Hollywood. Justin Baldoni, known for his role in Jane the Virgin and his track record as a director, originally secured the rights to adapt Colleen Hoover's bestseller, It Ends With Us. Enter Blake Lively, who joined the project as a co-star and allegedly wanted more control, eventually setting her eyes on taking over directorial duties. One thing led to another, and now we have a scandalous lawsuit swirling around these A-listers. The wildest accusation: Blake Lively supposedly offered Baldoni $10 million to walk away from the legal battle, presumably to hush him up so he wouldn't reveal certain damaging information. It sounds more like a plot twist from a Hollywood thriller than real life. Let's rewind to when the tension first started to bubble. Baldoni was set to both direct and produce It Ends With Us, a major passion project for him. He had a clear vision of how he wanted to bring Hoover's novel to life. That vision, according to inside sources, collided head-on with Blake Lively's creative ambitions. She supposedly demanded changes to the script, frequent edits, and even inserted her own lines at times. Did you ever have that group project partner in school who tried to take over everything, no matter what anyone else said? Well, word on the street is that's exactly how Baldoni felt. At first, he tried to accommodate Lively's suggestions. But somewhere along the line, lines got blurred. Next thing we knew, rumors began circulating that Lively was working behind the scenes to edge Baldoni out of the director's chair altogether. Why? Because if Baldoni isn't directing, the door swings wide open for her to assume full control. But that was only the tip of the iceberg. Suddenly, there were whispers, then full-blown accusations, claiming that Justin Baldoni made people uncomfortable on set. We're talking about workplace harassment allegations, inappropriate touching, pressuring actresses into graphic or nude scenes, and even confessions about his personal life that crossed major boundaries. On paper, these complaints painted Baldoni as a serious offender. They supposedly came from multiple actresses and were filed with Sony's HR department. But here's the catch. In Blake Lively's own lawsuit, she claimed Sony told her it wasn't their responsibility to process HR complaints for that production. If Sony wouldn't handle them, where exactly did these allegations go? And if they were never properly submitted back then, why are they only surfacing now? Critics online have pointed out that details like dates were heavily redacted. While it's reasonable to protect the identities of the complainants, it's also suspicious that you'd remove basic timestamps. The vague nature of these documents has a lot of people saying they might be fabricated, or at least highly exaggerated, to sway public opinion. The plot gets even thicker when we talk about the so-called hush money. Allegedly, Blake Lively approached Justin Baldoni through some channel, maybe directly, maybe through intermediaries, and offered him $10 million to drop the lawsuit and keep damaging evidence under wraps. Naturally, this news set the rumor mill on fire. Think about it. If you're confident in your claims that Justin Baldoni was the problem, why would you pay him an 8-figure sum to end the case? Wouldn't you be eager to take it to court and expose his alleged misdeeds? Skeptics say this hush money offer is proof that Lively might be desperate to maintain a squeaky clean image or to hide her own questionable maneuvers behind the scenes. Others wonder if it's just a typical out-of-court settlement attempt that got blown out of proportion. Regardless, the word bribe is being thrown around a lot, and it doesn't bode well for Lively's reputation. But that was only the tip of the iceberg. Suddenly, there were whispers, then full-blown accusations, claiming that Justin Baldoni made people uncomfortable on set. We're talking about workplace harassment allegations, inappropriate touching, pressuring actresses into graphic or nude scenes, and even confessions about his personal life that crossed major boundaries. On paper, these complaints painted Baldoni as a serious offender. They supposedly came from multiple actresses and were filed with Sony's HR department. But here's the catch. In Blake Lively's own lawsuit, she claimed Sony told her it wasn't their responsibility to process HR complaints for that production. If Sony wouldn't handle them, where exactly did these allegations go? And if they were never properly submitted back then, why are they only surfacing now? Critics online have pointed out that details like dates were heavily redacted. While it's reasonable to protect the identities of the complainants, it's also suspicious that you'd remove basic timestamps. The vague nature of these documents has a lot of people saying they might be fabricated, or at least highly exaggerated, to sway public opinion. Of course, we have to keep in mind that these are all allegations. Nothing has been ruled on definitively in court. And ironically, some of the strongest evidence that pokes holes in Lively's claims has come directly from footage and interviews featuring Lively herself. For example, she claimed she felt uncomfortable filming certain intimate scenes with Baldoni, suggesting there was no dedicated intimacy coordinator on set. Then, a resurfaced clip shows her admitting she essentially took on the job of intimacy coordinator, and that the production had actually hired one. Another clip shows behind-the-scenes footage of Lively and Baldoni dancing and flirting in a playful manner during filming, which seems at odds with her insistence that she was uneasy around him. Now, let's talk about those notorious text messages. Baldoni claims that the New York Times published a scathing article about him using text messages that were not only cherry-picked, but also altered. According to Baldoni's team, the real text messages told a more nuanced story. Instead of him bad-mouthing Lively or admitting wrongdoing, the texts show him confused about sudden negative press coverage and trying to figure out if his own PR team was behind it. The revelation that the Times may have changed the context is huge, and it has fans wondering if Lively and Reynolds, with their major industry connections, influenced the article to sabotage Baldoni's image. And that's not all. Lively's original complaint mentions that Baldoni pressured her during certain scenes and intruded on her personal space. Yet, other leaked evidence shows her repeatedly inviting him to her penthouse to rehearse explicit scenes, without the official intimacy coordinator. This contradiction has become a focal point in the case. Why would someone who claims to be uncomfortable request more one-on-one sessions instead of insisting on a professional third-party presence? People are speculating that Lively wanted more creative say in these steamy parts of the film, and possibly believed she and Baldoni had to collaborate privately to perfect the chemistry. Was it a genuine creative process gone wrong, or was she never that uncomfortable to begin with, and using these allegations now for leverage? So, where does this leave us? On one side, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are going full steam ahead with their lives, from big Hollywood events to brand promotions. On the other, Justin Baldoni is avoiding public scrutiny, presumably gathering more evidence to strengthen his defense. The $10 million hush money rumor still hangs heavily in the air. Is it proof that Lively is panicking because she knows her case is flimsy? Or is it a standard settlement tactic twisted by rumor? Then there's the question of who leaked these HR complaints. Could they be real documents that reflect genuine wrongdoing by Baldoni? Or are they strategic forgeries created to torpedo his reputation just in time for a blockbuster trial? There's one thing we can say for sure. This saga is far from over. Everyone is anxiously awaiting the next round of legal filings because that's where the real evidence, text messages, emails, on-set footage, will either back up these allegations or blow them to pieces. If Lively and Reynolds were truly orchestrating a smear campaign, we might see a massive fallout that damages their standing in Hollywood. Conversely, if Baldoni did half the things he's accused of, his career could take a nosedive. At this point, it's not just about a he said, she said scenario. It's about who can prove their story with ironclad receipts. One thing's for sure, the more each side tries to manipulate public perception, the more suspicious they look. Offer hush money and the world will wonder what you're trying to hide. Make jokes about a serious lawsuit, and people might think you're more interested in public relations than justice. By the time this reaches a courtroom, we'll see if that $10 million hush money bombshell is just a rumor or the smoking gun that proves someone was trying to buy silence. Until then, fans are left piecing together the puzzle, hoping for a resolution that either clears up the misunderstandings or brings the truth to light, whichever side that truth may favor. So, what do you think? Is this just another Hollywood power play, with two big-name celebrities throwing their weight around to shut down someone else's creative vision? Or did Justin Baldoni really cross the line on set, prompting Lively to take extreme measures? And what about that suspicious timing of these leaked HR complaints and the hush money talk? Everyone has questions. But for now, the answers are locked behind legal teams, sealed documents, and swirling rumors. Only time will tell which version of this wild tale will prevail in court, and whether the star power of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds can keep them on top or drag them down into the mud with these explosive accusations. Stay tuned because this Hollywood battle is just getting started.